I was in the Macra, sure. I was in the FCA as well.
For a little while, but the Macra was what you did most of the...
Came home and went down to Farm Lee. Before there was no hut built in it.
There was and that was the...
And now the camp started up in it, FCA camp.
FCA.
And see, there was £14 for the farming, right? And all you get here for the farm, you get red 10 shilling over Saturday night, and you could do what you like that till the fucking fell on Saturday night,
From his
anyhow, out we go, a few of us, anyhow.
So
now, I couldn't join it, you see.
On the FCA, this was an outing or something, wasn't it?
Pat, I had a brother, Pat, that died, delicate chap. So I joined up in his name, right? So I went down, but I came home that night with a tunic and a rifle and Yorks, and my father got me good and said, "Is there a bullet in that?" "No," I said, "I did not." "Well, there was," he says, "I'd fucking shoot you with it." He says, "Yeah, that thing,
He wasn't.
But that was the FCA, but the Macra then...
I know, I go back to the FCA for a minute there. How old were you? If you were...
Only 14.
And you basically given your brothers...
Yeah,
my brother's name.
He was 15 or 16.
He had me 15 and a half or something like that,
So this would have been about 1954 or so?
Oh, I'd go there,
Yeah.
We went to Marshalstown.
Up to County Meath on a holiday, that summer camp.
That's for a farmer.
What were you doing up there?
Fucking do nothing on his line around.
Weren't you practicing your...
Oh, we're practicing these shots in Yorkshire.
Your shots.
And we went for a rifle
Competition.
inspection one morning. Shawnee Deeg and myself was pulling the cleaner out through the York, right?
Cleaning the
And
barrel.
the fucking York got stuck in anyhow. So we went on anyhow. The way we were with the rifles with the York blocked. So anyhow, well, the lad came along and inspected them. See, they wouldn't inspect everybody. We only took gobshits that didn't inspect the two of us, right? So where we put in the kitchen, peel and spud for 3 days. And fuck's sake, stuff, And that time you get the grub in it. Oh, jeez, it was rough. It was rough. The jumpers will be in the cabbage and all, they'll still be alive. That'll tell you how much they were bored, they were afraid.
It's exaggerating now, not mine.
No, I'm not joking.
Maggots
Not
in the
joking.
cabbage.
So we got a cut of a baiting in it then one night with a fox of Ballarn. He picked the bane out of that. So they started boxing, they stood up for us anyhow. And we stood up for them anyhow. Yeah, we got this shit there. I had to go to Limerick and I tumbled the whole way from Dublin to Limerick. Because I had come home, my father shot me, I'm not joking, there's so many marks on me, I couldn't come home till I would clear up a big.
Well, you went to your uncle in
I
Limerick.
went out to Uncle Jeremy.
He was in the guard, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
He didn't rage it.
No, but see, that time, look, we had a £14 in pocket, you see. And £14 was a lot of money at that time. 5 years, it was a lot of money, right? Cheers, you'd have a right time over there, yeah.
So you're £14 every 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, I was only in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all, only in for 2 weeks, yeah. Tommy Bolger had in Enniscorthy was over us at that time, yeah. Paddy Dial below Farm Lee, remember him? Yeah. That was in the 50s, mid-50s. Yes, mid-50s, 54, 55.
A lot of people would have brought a big coat home and threw them at the end of the bed as well to keep the heat.
Oh, jeez, they were rich up. Had it for years. You could only get the bed in her hand, I tell you what it is, you're very simple, you're in heaven.
Pure wool.
The way of it.
The big
If it got wet then you
overcoats.
couldn't carry it. Yeah, no. Oh, jeez, they were great jobs. Jeez, I had a tractor for years. Yeah.
Do you still have it?
No.
Gone. Did you have to hand back the rifle?
Oh, I had a hand back there. No.
He retired.
With the 2 yokes up in it.
And the boots. There was right leather
You get a
boots.
pair of boots, well, no, they wouldn't give boots you, they were no good for that.
Were they not?
No, they weren't.
I thought they were good.
I know a woman down in around Screen as well, she said the same, her father was in the FCA and she went in for the coat for the throw down over the bed at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they would say what they were very same as
Sure
a
did.
half dozen blankets, right, okay, right?
Sure, the people said, what was the meaning of the FCA? And somebody
Who made
said
that?
Free Clothing
Yeah,
Association.
and the other one was fucking Cowardly Army.
What the car- I didn't hear that.
What was the second one?
Fucking Cowardly Army. Free Clothing Association, the other one, yeah.
And where were you? Was there a little camp down below here?
In Farnley.
Down in Farnley, just down the road. That
What was it? Little shed or?
No, a little hut, wooden
Yeah.
hut.
Now where G is?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where the
That was what it was.
where the old building is now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that came there that time, sure, mid-50s, right? And I don't know who built it or who didn't build it. Like, oh, Jay, it was lovely and snug in a way. You know, I used to meet down there, like, you know.
We had one on our land as well.
Yeah, you would have one up in the Gordon Goody.
Up in Knockmore. My father gave a site for the FCA home. I remember when I was young, there was great functions in it and dances and a meeting every couple of weeks. And there was a group who used to come out from New Ross that time. There was a big man with a beard called Andy Minahan.
That's right.
In New Ross. And I remember him, of course, after the meetings down in the little local hall, they used to come up to our kitchen at home for a few little drinks. And we were put to bed, of course. But they used to be, these lads from New Ross, 3 or 4 of those, used to come out to organise the little meetings and tell the boys and hand out the clothing and the rifles, and there was little competitions, shooting competitions then as well and things like that. But it went on for a good while, but it's gone now as well.
Tell me this, you were involved in the Macra as well, were you?
Oh yeah, for years.
Would you set it up here, did you?
And there was set up here in Marshalstown that time. A group was set up, like, you know. You know, got together that time and set it up. Peter Murphy of Bolger was involved in it at the time. Another lad then, what he called him, Owen O'Brien. Owen O'Brien was great into it, like, you know. We farmed an old
A group down
here and got going and things like that, and we went to Dial a Man and holidays, we got a few pound and things like that, like, you know. Went to Dial a Man then for a couple of days, like, you know, like that time, like, you know. Yeah.
When was this, Jim?
Oh, that was about 57, 58, I say, right?
And what did you do? Was it a crack?
Oh, I just went out for a crack, that's all, yeah.
Well, no, Jim, you went very involved in the...
That was in the sheep judging, that was different.
All the judging, cattle judging, the whole lot. That was...
But anyhow...
that was the early 60s.
We went to the trips first, anyhow.
Huh?
Went to the trip first. I won the sheep judging in 58, I think. But anyhow, went on the trip anyhow, went over on the boat. And coming back was real rough. So I got into a bunk that night. I was taking a couple of bottles of stout and I got into a bunk and I fell asleep. So the next morning anyhow, I waking up, oh Lord, the place was destroyed. Everybody with the colour them was, like, you know what I mean? Huh? Everybody got sick coming over. I was the only one that wasn't. But lad vomiting everywhere. Jeez, were terrible. You know? But anyhow, that was the time we went. We went a couple of trips to Dial a Man. So I went out sheep judging then here in Wexford first, and then you go on to the All-Ireland and was held in Limerick in Palace Kenry. And I won it down there, you know. Then I got a trip to the, went on then for the All-Ireland.
No, the world or something.
The world then with 6 different countries. Went to Dial a Man. Yeah. That was what's...
Was that the year before? About 60...
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah, 62 or 3, yeah.
And that was with judging, Jim, wasn't it?
Yeah, judging, yeah. And now I was after doing a bit of work on it. And you see out there they'd have horny sheep, like, you know. And around here we wouldn't have them, but I went down to a few places down in Waterford where they were, like, you know, to learn a bit about it. But anyhow, there was 2 lads, 11 Kilkenny, myself, went out anyhow. I was supposed to be better than him anyhow, but anyhow, it ended up that I wasn't. It happened in that Peter Murphy that night, right?
Peter was a quizmaster, do you remember him?
Peter was a quizmaster. You don't remember him, you don't. He was originally from Bolger. So Peter started drinking brandy anyhow, and I should start drinking with him. So I had to put me to bed sometime, I never remember. So I got up the next morning, then we went out to the main show. That's where the judging was, like, you know, the 6 countries were there. And every time I went to look at a number in the back, the sheep were going around the fucking ring like that, like, you know, I couldn't get the numbers out, never mind fucking see what they were like, you know. And this Maloney turned on me, the cunt.
Your partner.
So anyhow, we got third anyhow, out of the 6 countries. So Maloney bet me well, right? The fucker reported me then when I came home, you know, right? Yeah. But anyhow, I was stopped then from judging for a year or so. Wasn't a hin. So...
Suspended you were?
Yeah.
Never thought it was this.
Yeah, but anyhow, well, was it 64 I won them all, was it?
64, you competed again and you won all around you. You won the 5 cups that were...
Yes, fucking punches. I was giving out about whenever any lads was... The lads even jeered me over there, you know, right, okay. So I got hand anyhow this year and I came on. I entered them all. And whether I was lucky or not, I don't know, but I won them all anyhow, right, okay, right. He's got them all, you know.
That's the photograph of all the
Yeah.
him with all the
One
cups.
the sheep,
We've a grand photograph of that inside.
the dairy,
It's in the books.
and beef. I think the beef was underage beef, I think, I'm not sure. Right? I wouldn't see it many of them. Right?
You wonder, yeah.
Maybe it'll be a look. Right, okay, right.
You came back with a vengeance, did you?
Yeah. I know a couple of show for honey the photograph, like, you know. You're the only yearly job you see, you put your name on it, you know. I don't know. Anyhow.
You had to hand them all back again.
And hand them
I
all
had to
back.
clean them all, 5 of them, after a year, and hand them back.
You were only a chap at the time, sure, in your 20s, early 20s.
That's all.
Maybe drinking brandy.
And when I was fucking would beat them up, I've been drinking for a good while after that. The boy said next day or next night we're going home. It took us 4 hours that time to go on that boat. And we came back in 20 minutes to Dublin boat, right? You know?
For playing.
Yeah. And I came back, we come from Dublin, Maloney with African Kenny. And I was in Peter Dyes getting a drink in town here. Well, no transport that time, not happening, you know. And walk, so you're used to walking, you know.
Well, you didn't walk from Dublin.
No, but they told me to walk. But anyhow, I went into Peter Dyes to get a drink. And the next thing the radio was on, they said 6:05 in the evening, you know. And Jim Bolger from Marshalstown and Ed Maloney of Kilkenny has gone to Isle of Man to represent Ireland in the All Ireland Sheep Judging. But I was home after losing anyhow, I could hear on the fucking radio. But anyhow, that year, you know. So then I helped out how lads in sheep judging in York, you know. I used to have several lads here, you know, right?
Young fellas used to
Young
come.
fella used to come then, like, you know, and help them out a bit, like, you know. Some of them done a bit of good, none of them done that, others done that, you know. Yeah.
Is it still on? I'd see someone teaching.
Yeah,
It is on.
Yeah.
It is on. It was on in Cork down there, like, you know. There was a chap there who came here one day to look at cattle. He's up in Kilteely. A man, the guard's son. Murphy.
Frank Murphy's son,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
right.
remember his chap came here.
Yeah, he was
anyway.
competing in something.
He was competing in something there in
for
the
the
Macra,
Macra,
right?
yeah.
He's up in Kilteely. Frank Murphy's an ex-guard, you don't know him. Yeah. His son of his anyhow was interested in that kind of stuff, you know. So he asked me through Seamus Morris to come down here one day to look at cattle, you know. I had grand cattle out in the field there, and Jazzy was alright, he knew a bit about cattle, you know what I mean, you know, right? So he didn't get anywhere anyhow. I don't know, like, you know, right over. He didn't get anywhere, never heard anything about him after anyway, you know.
Did you hang up your boots then after that? That was 64. You got married, you started building a
Got
house in
married.
66, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
68.
68, sorry, yeah.
No, I helped lads along the line there, like, you know. I stopped judging myself, like, you know. But then I used to go to, like, a Burris, Carnew and them places to judge sheep, the state shows and things like that, like, you know. Yeah.
He was a judge for.
I went to Waterford then a few times down to do the fat stock show and show down there with Pat Dyle and Ballybrennan, like, you know. And, sure, the years went on, then he gave it up, like, you know.